one. Hi, I'm Josh,
And I'm Adrian.
and today we got more Big Brother tea to spill.
And today we're spilling on episode 10. All right, so our episode today starts right after the veto ceremony. Um, At this point, Brittany knows veto hasn't been used, so she knows that she has to do the same thing she did last time when she was on the block come eviction, and she's gonna lay low. But on the other side, we have Brett, who's still on his whole cockiness side and thinking that everything is going to his plan and that he's going to be safe.
Delusional. Like, I don't want to be rude,
right.
but it's just delusions. It's like, So we'll kind of stick to that, and then if you want to go to the next, because there's a segment that I kind of wanted to go over.
All right, so in order for the whole reason Brett thinks that he's safe is because they created a fake alliance called the Mafia. And apparently the only person who thinks that this alliance is real is Brett himself. Yeah, because everybody else in this alliance is on board to get him out. Right. He thinks he has his numbers. But I mean, it's entertaining. The whole episode, going in from the veto episode to the eviction episode, it's all amusing because we, the viewers, and the whole house knows that this is not going on Brent's way. And the only one that seems so serious and cockiness is Brent himself. And it's beautiful to watch.
So I probably should watch this one channel a little bit more, but I do kind of watch it every now and then. And I don't want to like trash talk like producers or anything. Hopefully they don't see this, but supposedly even the producers were kind of like hyping it up about his blind side. Like I don't know how true it is because it might have just been like a guess or something, but supposedly the producers were telling the players like, don't tell Brent about the blind side, like don't tell it because we want to get that shot, like we want to see the blind side. So they were kind of like urging people not to tell him anything. So I don't know how true that is, but yeah. I mean,
if it's true, I mean, that kind of annoys me because it kind of takes away a little bit from the realness of the show. Like if he finds out, oh well, he found out. Which brings me back to my list of things. The episode kind of continues, and it's still kind of making fun of Brett. I'm gonna call it that they're making fun of Brett. And there's a point in time when Hannah is outside talking to, I think it was Derek X that she was talking to, and apparently Brent goes downstairs from that new balcony that they have in the backyard. He was up there. He comes back down, and they're talking about it. And I want to say that that Brett caught Hannah saying what she was saying because even him was like, "Are y'all conspiring?" And she was just like, "What?"
I was just gonna say because I do remember that segment, but I don't think he caught on to it though. I think he like just passed on like.
I mean, he might have not, but he was just like, "Are y'all conspiring?" And she's just like so nervous, like you can tell she cannot lie. Like in this moment, she's like freaking out because even when she's struggling so bad, he goes, "Why are you smiling so much?" Where she's trying not to laugh because she knows she almost got caught. And then we have Derek X sitting next to her, and he's like straight as face as it can be, like perfect lie, knows exactly what he needs to do.
That's all you have to do, yeah. So that kind of shows a little bit of a crack on Hannah. Like again, like we'll get to the rankings later, but that's kind of one of the things as to what I'm talking about. I feel like Hannah's just a lot of talk, and it's just like, girl, like you may have potential, I don't know, but you talk a lot of game and there's no proof. We're already in week 3. We haven't seen shit from you. The only thing that we've seen is you teaming up with Derek X and possibly the Cookout Alliance, and Xavier thinks of you as like his little sister. Like there's nothing there that screams to me like strong player. And then you don't even know how to like keep your cool when you're being called out like on a possible lie. Like
right. And that right there is it's going to explain a little bit something that I want to speak here at the end. But as usual, the live eviction shows, they kind of go through like, I guess it's several days of footage because everything's not connected. So then they start talking about like it goes into a scene where they're in the kitchen and they're looking at the memory wall and
Oh yeah.
they're talking about the things that people might really do in real life. And Derek F, who is in the Cookout Alliance, with
Mm-hmm.
all these people, starts telling everybody, "Oh, I'm pretty sure Xavier's a lawyer, not a model." And
Right.
then we have Xavier in the background, just like, "The hell are you doing? Like, shut your mouth!
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're working together, and you're exposing me." But Derek F has
He's
a good
spot on.
read because he was able
Right.
to find out, right? Like,
Right. Right. Right.
um,
Yeah. I didn't
but
like how so there was a part of that too where they were looking at the memory wall, and I think Brent was talking about like how he doesn't like that like his picture shows like some like bags under his eyes or something like that. He's like, I
mhm,
don't get why that picture shows that. Like that's not how I normally look. And it's like, okay. And then Xavier's just like, yeah, but I have them too. It's like, dude, get over yourself. You're not that great. Like it's weird with him because I know that like a few episodes ago, like maybe like a week or two ago, I was kind of like, okay, I like Brent or whatever, you know? Because like his personality seems cool. And I was like, okay, maybe he has a redeeming quality that's gonna be like cool, you know what I mean? And like he's not like an ugly guy. But like now it's like your personality kind of matches your body in a sense, and it's not cute because you're just douchey for no reason. You're not like that great either. Like, you know what I mean?
right. And this brings it back to a couple of episodes back now, where we had
Mm-hmm.
Shani on our show, and when
Mm-hmm.
we were ranking Brent high, she was just like, because she's seen
What are
the
you doing?
lives, like she's seen what he was like, and we didn't get it yet. We didn't get it, but
Right.
now they showed it to us, and now even us, we're just like, oh, we're so over Brent. Like, get over
Yeah.
yourself. You're not that great. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a plus to watching the live feeds.
For sure.
I mean, I wish I had a little bit more time to watch the live
Right.
feeds,
Right.
but
Life.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. But
Um, so
so what was
moving on
after
a little
that?
bit with the episode. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I was saying like what was after that?
Oh, okay. So moving on with the rest of the episode, we start seeing um, everybody try to keep this secret because it's a
Mm-hmm.
long days from the end of the veto ceremony to eviction night. It's like several days in between.
So can I okay, and I don't know if maybe you didn't maybe you missed it or maybe we haven't gone through it, but it's like did you get the part where Whitney and Brent are in the living room and they're talking?
Oh, where
Or
she
no?
tries to give him like advice in the
I thought
outside
that okay,
world.
to me that was like a good thing for Whitney because Whitney was see this is what shows that Whitney is like, yeah, she is plastic, like you say, or whatever. But I feel like she's also very smart, but she's also very like, what's the word? I don't know how to explain. Like I relate to her a lot, and I'm not trying to like make it about me or anything like that, or just about her. But she's the kind of person that even though like someone shows like a very bad side to them, she always tries to see the good in people, in general, just in general, because she did that with Frenchie, and now she's doing it with Brent, where she knows that they're not playing the best of games and they're gonna go home, but she's still trying to tell them like, hey, like maybe you can still turn it around if you do this instead because you're rubbing people the wrong way. And she kind of goes a little bit deeper into like, why are you being like this? Don't be like this because that's what's causing you to go home. And to me, that's a very good quality to have in general, just as a person, because it shows that she does care for these people. And I like that. Like, you know, I like that she was trying to kind of put him to the side and be like, hey, like, maybe this is why people are targeting you. And he's like, no, I don't think so. And he was like so oblivious to like everything that she was telling him. He was just like, no, no, and making jokes about it and stuff. And then at some point, she's like, I tried. I tried
That's
to
when
give
she
you that
went
little
onto the
bit.
confessional, and she was like,
Yep,
"I'm sorry, America. I tried."
she did. And see, to me, that's what makes her like a likable person. Like she's a threat to me. Like she's still up there for me because I like her as a person. I like that she has a good strategy. We'll go a little bit deeper into the episode that she might be a target, but I don't know. I'm
Right,
still Team Whitney.
and here's the thing: for the last several episodes, when it comes to Whitney, y'all have heard me say she's
Mm-hmm.
shiny. She seems really fake. I'm not about Whitney. Here's the thing: as the episodes go, people that I thought I was gonna like I'm not liking, and people who I thought I wasn't gonna like are growing on me. And Whitney is one of those types of people. she's slowly, it's still
Oh
slowly,
yeah,
but
yeah,
she's
slowly.
growing on me.
Okay,
But slowly.
okay, that's an
Um,
improvement.
right. Yeah, something is something.
Yeah,
Um, so we reach a point in time in the episode where it's focusing a lot on Derek X
right,
and um, the numbers within this Royal Flush Alliance. He is the
right,
lowest one in this alliance. He
right,
starts seeing that the kings all have their four people, which the four kings has the showmans, which is Alyssa and Christian, in
right.
that alliance. So he starts questioning whether he's doing the right thing for his game or he's
Hmm.
doing the right things for somebody else's game, which I think it's
Well,
pretty more smart for
right.
him to think.
Well, did that stem from? And I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just like all over the place with the episode. But did that stem from Alyssa kind of talking about how she should be the next one to win because she wants Whitney out? Is that
Right.
what it
This
stemmed
is
from?
it's
Yeah.
all during that general during this part of the episode,
Hmm.
literally I'm taking notes and they went
Hmm.
from like, oh, I shouldn't write that down because that's not really that important to oh my
Right.
god, I need to write everything down because there's so much happening in this part of the episode. Because it like
So
speeds up.
because and I was gonna say, and I think I saw on Facebook too from one of the groups that one thing that's good about this cast in general is that a lot of them are thinking like weeks ahead. They're not even thinking like, for example, I think Tiffany was one of them. Derek X was one of them. I think they were like laying down in the half not room or something, and they were talking about, okay, we got this one settled. Now we got Brent, he's gonna go, whatever. What about next week? Who are we targeting next week? And I'm like, yes, this is what we need. We need constant reminders that you need to go to the next game move. It's chess to me. You know what I mean? Like that's the beauty of Big
Right.
Brother. I feel like because you have to think about different steps out of the way. Like you're like, okay, so Whitney's possible next target. Who's after that? How are you going to orchestrate that? How are you going to get there? And Tiffany was doing that. Derek X was doing that, and I think it ties into that because I think Alyssa's thinking already. I need to win the next one because I want to go for Whitney, and I think that it should be me to win. Or I don't know, I forgot what her rationale was, but Alyssa was pitching that it should be her, and Derek X is listening to her, and he's like, yeah, thinking about it, but he's like, wait, hold on, but then he's going after Whitney, which is in my group. You know what I mean? Like, so they're just kind of like,
Right. It's where everybody, like you said, everybody's thinking ahead. And this is
right,
what I like. There
right,
is kind of sort of a big alliance. Let's just put
right,
it out there. And it's
right,
majority of the house. But the
right,
good thing is that everybody is playing for the alliance, but for themselves. So everybody's thinking, how am I going to turn on this alliance? In other seasons, we see this
exactly,
big group and everybody's just thinking about getting rid of the other side. But this
right,
season, everybody's thinking about how am I going to get past this
right.
alliance? And I love
Yep,
that because
me
it's
too.
it's adding a lot more what's next? What are we going to
Right,
see happen next? Instead of,
right.
oh, we already know what's going to happen
Right.
next.
Exactly.
So,
That's exactly what it is. And I like that's why I mentioned it like maybe a few episodes ago that like even though I'm not a big fan of big alliances, like this one kind of works because I think everybody has their own place within the alliance, but at the same time they all have their own ultimate goal, and that's their main priority for the most part. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Tiffany is definitely keeping her own sights as to where she should go. Derek as well. Alyssa and Christian as well. They're thinking about themselves. Kyland and Xavier are kind of like the ones that are kind of meshing in a little bit into that alliance a little bit too much because they're thinking about like the cookout and stuff.
right, right.
But I think they're fine. I think maybe the other people that kind of think about it a little bit more selfishly is because they're probably feeling that they're kind of like on the outs of the alliance, and maybe that's why they're like, okay, maybe I need to plan ahead just in case.
I don't know because the one that's doing the most of the movement, thinking really ahead, is Tiffany, and I don't think Tiffany is on the outs of this alliance. As a matter of fact, I think like she's what's trying to keep everything together because there comes a point in time during the episode when Alyssa walks into the room and Tiffany goes, "Hey, are you part of our team?" And she's just like, Alyssa or Hannah was like, "Yeah,
Right, I know,
I
yeah,
came into that house. I came into this
right,
house knowing that." And she's like, "Okay, good." Like she's always like on the game. They might be having a normal conversation, but
right,
Tiffany's always thinking game.
for sure.
And she's the one that's keeping everything rolling, but together at the same time, if you know what
But
that
see,
means.
the thing is though is that I think yes, Tiffany is definitely thinking about that, but it's also because of her position within the group. I think that if there was like a rank, I mean, a lot of people out there seem to like Tiffany. You know what I mean? Like from what I've seen, again, on social media and people that I've talked to, like they love Tiffany. A lot of people love Tiffany. But I think that within the house, I don't think she's the most loved one. I could be wrong. But I still think that maybe Kyland and like Sarah and even Xavier are kind of like more on the, like if it was, let's say if it was Tiffany, Sarah, Kyland, and Xavier, final four, I don't think Tiffany would fare too well with them because I don't think that she's done enough. Like Kyland and what's his name? Xavier, they won HOH. So they at least have that. Sarah has won that wild card before. I think Tiffany was handed that wild card comp. So it doesn't go as high as like them. So I feel like right now, if you look at the rank, she's not the one on the top. She's doing really good socially and strategizing, but I feel like Kylan, Xavier, and Sarah Beth are also doing really well. So I think she's thinking the reason why I have to think about myself is because if I compare myself to Kylan or Xavier or Sarah Beth, I don't think I would get the win. So she has to think like, there is going to come a time where I have to get rid of them and I have to start thinking way ahead because I do need to get rid of them. I don't think Kylan and Xavier feel that threat about Tiffany. They just feel like she is a threat, but I don't feel like they feel like they would lose against her in the final.
Right. And I have a little different read because I feel like Tiffany is good at what she's doing, but there are times like the example I just gave when she saw Hannah out of nowhere and she just came really hard. Like, are you part of our team? I feel like she comes off a little bit strong.
For sure.
She's 1,000%. And I think that people don't see her as a threat right now. But I feel like because she's thinking ahead, she needs to, because the way she comes off is gonna really, whenever it's time to go after each other, I feel like they're gonna look at Tiffany first.
Oh, of course. Right. Yeah, and I think that's why she's thinking ahead. She knows that. She knows that she has an outstanding personality, but I think her strategy is even better. The only thing with that though is that there's others out there that have maybe a more likable personality. And I think that she has to compete with that. She has personalities that she has to compete against. And I don't think that she feels that comfortable.
Right.
She's good. She's thinking about it, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah. So back to the episode. This is still where Derek X is still questioning whether he's doing the right moves and stuff like that. It kind of gave me the feeling that Derek X knows that he needs to make a move, but he can't because of the position that he's in with the alliance. So it started giving me vibes like Derek X is going to throw the comp because he knows that if he wins this comp, he's going to have to make a bad decision and potentially expose him. So am I a fan of throwing HOHs? No, not at all. Even if it would expose you, because you never know. I put a little question mark next to this because again, it's seeming like he's about to throw a comp, and I don't like that. I don't like players who throw comps.
Right.
But do I see why he's doing it? Absolutely.
So he gives me Dan Giesling vibes. And he won his season. So for me to say that about Derek, that says a lot because Dan played a pretty similar game to him, where he was very low key the first few weeks while everything else was just kind of going around him. And he was like just watching it all happen. Every now and then, and I can't remember like details, but I want to say Dan won a few challenges here and there, but he was never seen as like, oh, we need to go after Dan kind of thing until like towards the end. And that's how Derek X, that's how Derek X is. He's winning comps, but I don't think that he's like really, like no one's really talking about him anymore. He's just kind of just chilling. Like people are kind of just plotting and stuff. Like he's just kind of just there, but not there. I don't know. Like I've said it for like so many episodes now that he scares me. Like if I wasn't in that game with him, I would want to get him out because he is scary. Like he's a very dangerous player. And if there's ever an All-Stars, like he's gonna be on All-Stars if there ever is another one. But he's good.
I'm sure.
And for him to know that he shouldn't. It is smart for him not to win right now. He doesn't need to win. He's not even at the bottom of the totem pole. There's so many more people that need to go first before him.
He knows he's good.
And he's good.
Right. And this is why he's probably considering throwing a comp, because I throw the comp, nobody's looking at me. I'm good. I win the HOH, everybody's going to look at me.
Right.
It's smart.
And he's going to win. I want to say, sorry, I was going to say one more thing really quick. I was going to say, I think that whenever he feels like he has to win the HOH or a veto, he's going to win it. He knows that already. He's done it before.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So around this time when Derek X is questioning his moves, he's also talking a lot with Alyssa. And Alyssa tells him that she wants to target Whitney. Derek X gets freaked out about this because Whitney still is on his team and he doesn't want his team to get smaller, which I don't really know how much longer these teams are going to be a thing. I'm hoping they kind of get rid of the teams soon, but he has a point. Like at the same time, like his chances of winning HOH when he needs to are going to get smaller if he gets rid of Whitney.
Right.
So he doesn't like that.
He shouldn't.
He doesn't like that plan that Alyssa has.
And that's where it gets. So it kind of goes back to like, so he's trying to kind of protect Whitney in a sense, and then they kind of discuss about maybe like putting it on Hannah. And like, I don't know if they say like Whitney and Hannah as the potential moms, but then Xavier listens to that and he's like, no, I don't want Hannah. See, okay, Xavier, I love Xavier. He's good. He like his HOH was perfect. Nothing went wrong. He's very competitive. He's very good at what he does. I just feel like he sometimes is a little bit emotional too, because he wants to save Whitney. He wants to save, but then he also wants to save Hannah just because he sees her as his like little sister. And it's like, dude, like, yes, that's cool and all. You're making a connection. You know what I mean? But like, is that the only reason why you want to keep her? Like what's the reason? Like, what's the real reason? Like, do you feel like she's a good competitor? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't really talk about that. He just says like, no, I don't want Hannah as like a dom. And it's like, but why? Like, at least Derek X has a valid reason why he doesn't want Whitney up. What does Xavier have as a reason why he doesn't want Hannah up? Just because he likes her? That's kind of silly. Right? So yeah, like Derek has a valid reason to want to keep Whitney, but then like Xavier is just because he likes Hannah. So I'm like, what? Right. Like, I don't.
And eventually that's going to start getting people to question him. Like, you're not giving us reasons. You're just telling us no. Like, what is really going on? And who knows? It might be more talked about in a live feed that really wasn't really good for the actual edit. We don't know. That's why live feeds are kind of cool at times. So at this time, the Kings start talking to, like, they switch over to the Kings and they start talking about the future moving forward, the next round. And the Kings want to win. That way they can put Hannah as a pawn. And at this point, we see a little bit more of Sarah Beth. And Sarah Beth has this really good read on Hannah, on how she knows she's watching everything. She's really quiet. She's in the background. She's like, but I don't think she's dumb. And I do think she's smart enough to take a shot at somebody, to make a big move, which scares Sarah Beth. And at the same time, Xavier's in the background like, this can't happen because these people are in my Cookout Alliance. That means more to me. Now, this is where this two alliance and having people all over the place is going to get messy. Because even though they're trying to play their own game, eventually something is going to come out.
For sure.
Where he's going to try to hide something, and it's just not going to work out.
Yep. I mean, I don't know. Like, honestly, between, like, if I have to choose, I would go for Hannah. Like, if I was in the house, just because Hannah, like, not because I don't like her or anything like that. It's just, it's more, Sarah Beth is right. Like at least Whitney has kind of been around and she's kind of like sticking with the group in voting. Hannah is too, but she's very like low key. Like she's just kind of like she only talks to certain people, it seems like. And I like to if I was Sarah Beth, I would be threatened by that too. Because I mean, come on, I hate to say it, but it is Queen Sarah Beth. Sarah Beth is playing the floater game. She is like the mastermind behind that floater game. Hannah is kind of falling into that, and Sarah Beth is looking at it. She's like, this is my game.
Like,
I'm the floater of the season. You need to go. You're trying to float over there. You're not gonna float. I'm gonna float. You're gonna sink.
Right. Correct. I love that because I wasn't thinking that until you started saying, I'm like, yep, this is exactly what's going on. She's doing my moves, and these are my moves. I need to get you out. And
right.
I love that.
Yeah,
yes, you're
exactly.
Completely right.
Because Hannah is kind of like on Sarah Beth's territory in the sense that they're both floating around, but Sarah Beth knows what she's doing. I think Hannah's just kind of got stuck into that floater game, and Sarah Beth is like, no, don't steal my shine here. You need to go.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
So if we move along with the episode, this is kind of when we go into the live eviction. When it comes down to the speeches, Brittany does her tease of a rap, and I'm like, oh no, here we go again with this, because I didn't like it last time. You gave her points for that. However, I think she lost points with me. But I thought she was going to do it again, and I was like, oh no, not this. Which she kind of did. She just didn't do it as fast.
Right. And she didn't really do the whole thing. I don't know. Like,
it was still
I go back and forth with Brittany. I go back and forth with her. Like, I like her, but then like I don't. Like, I don't know. It's weird because she's like very slowly growing on me. Like very slowly. Like just like a little bit, like in doses. I feel like Whitney's a little bit easier to take in. Like I feel like Brittany's a little bit. Yeah, but even but Brittany and Whitney, they're like in different planets. Like I feel like Whitney's a little bit easier to take in because she's not too much. Brittany is a lot. Okay. Okay, then I guess so. Yeah, I guess my Brittany is your Whitney.
Right. All right. Yeah. So we go into the vote. I even skip over Brent's speech because it's so short. I don't even remember it because he's so confident that he's going to stay. The vote ends up being unanimous against Brent. Brent gets evicted. Then he goes out and starts talking to Julie. And then his whole cockiness disappears. And he's like, well, kind of. It kind of disappears. But then he was just like, I kind of knew this was going to happen. No, you didn't. You did not know that you were about to get voted out. You're just saying that because you don't want people to look at you and laugh at you. But sadly, even Julie Chen at the beginning of the episode is just like, we're getting ready for the biggest blindside of the season. And it's on Brent, who thinks he's orchestrating the blind side. But we know what just happened. You are hurt. It looks like you want to cry. Like you got. Plain and simple.
And I think someone even mentioned it because I think like on last episode, I was talking about how like at this point in the game, at this point in the seasons that there is a Big Brother, like you should be able to have a better read of what's going on. Like if you're being blindsided, you should kind of get a sense of it. I feel like. I mean, I could be wrong. Like I said, I've never been there, so I can't really tell. But from all of the seasons, I mean, like people are gonna tell you, yes, I'm gonna vote for you, yes. But I mean, there should be a way for you to kind of read it and be like, you know what, this person's fine for me.
And you can't say. I mean, let me take that back. An org is not the same thing as a Big Brother house. But in an org, even in an org, when you're about to get blindsided, you know.
You can know
there's a shift in the game, and you're like,
and I would only assume that if you were in the Big Brother house, it would even be more intensified. Like you can tell that there is some type of tension there, that something is coming against you. You know what I mean? Like it would just like you should know. But he was just clouded. He was clouded about his way of being, and it was just like, dude, like you're way too out there. Like you don't have no idea what's going on, and it's like ridiculous, kind of like, how did you get casted here? But whatever, I'm not gonna shit on the producing team, the casting team. Like You could have catted me,
Hey.
but whatever.
Hey, they did a good job because he still gave us a really good, fun, a comical week. So
True.
they got something out of it.
True.
During this time when he's talking to Julie is when they show his goodbye videos. And his goodbye videos, let me just tell you, they didn't hold back. I found some of them to be kind of harsh. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you just evicted him. He kind of rubbed you the wrong way, but did you really have to come at him that strong? Like, almost every single one of them was harsh. And like, you just blindsided the guy. Like,
Right.
at least like be nice about it in your goodbye videos. But they were all doing the same motion of like, you're at the house. Somebody, I don't remember who did it, but did like an airlines joke since he's like a flight attendant. Like they kind of made fun of the guy. Like,
yeah. I mean, again, we're not there to say, but maybe he rubbed them the wrong way, and like maybe he said certain things to them that it was kind of like, dude, you need to go, like, bye. You know what I mean? Because if he came off like too cocky, and it's like, yeah, you're in the wrong house. You are definitely in the wrong house. You could have been in the house. What season are we in? 23? 21.
No, he could have been like on Love Island or something.
Not even then. I mean, I'm not going to be rude, but Love Island has really attractive guys.
The casting on Love Island, they're all cocky about themselves. Like, you were on the wrong CBS show.
But I don't want to get too much into it, and I want to be Richard Brown. But the guys that are like in Love Island and the girls, they're just like, and Brent is like, he has a nice body, but
absolutely not. I saw a preview of after the episode, and I kind of let it run for a little bit, and I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this? Like, I can't. And I'm like, some of these people aren't even worth watching on the show. Like, I don't know why you're doing this, but I'm sorry, I don't see it.
For the most, I'm not trying to be shallow. I'm just saying, like, looking at them, I'm like, okay, they're easy on the eyes. Like, I don't know. It just, I know it sounds shallow, but I don't think that
matter.
I don't think he's at that caliber to be like on Love Island, looks wise.
Well, the good thing is this is Big Brother spill and not Love Island spill.
Right. Yeah. So we'll just move on. Yeah.
Moving along with the Big Brother episode.
Yeah.
So right after eviction, we go into the HOH competition. This competition is teams. They go back into the team situation, and it's like a puzzle with a relay. Like you have to get back into the spot, back to your team within a certain time.
Right. Yep.
It's simple. It's a HOH comp. Like,
right.
It is what it is. So the winners, it happens to be the Kings, which consists of Alyssa, Christian, Sarabeth. And I think there's somebody else in that team. I'm not really too sure.
Kylan, no? Oh, because, isn't it Kylan?
I'm not really sure.
I'm losing track of the teams.
The teams go up and down. We don't talk about the teams too much. I don't know who it is.
I think it's Xavier.
It might be. Anyways, whoever it is, it's safe. That person is safe. It has to be a guy because
it's Xavier.
2 girls, 2 guys. Okay, so Xavier is because he couldn't play in HOH.
Right.
So he's safe, anyways. And because of that, Christian becomes the HOH. Now let's talk a little bit about Christian being HOH because he has a showmance with Alyssa. Alyssa has already in this episode stated he wants to target Whitney. So this is an interesting because this not only is Christian's HOH, it is Christian and Alyssa's HOH. And we've already seen the mishaps that this showmance has already done. Like they've already been caught. Like people know. Like there's bound to be some mistakes with this HOH.
Well, and it's funny because like I predicted that Alyssa would win the HOH, or I wanted Alyssa to win. So like in a sense, I kind of got it right, just because. I mean, let's be real. Between Alyssa and Christian, Alyssa wears the pants. Like Alyssa, it controls Christian. So whatever Alyssa wants, Christian will probably follow suit. So if she wants Whitney out, he's probably going to do that, unless he has something else. I don't know.
Right, and then there's something going backtracking a little bit because I meant to bring it up earlier, but we already moved on. So backtracking, I wanted to ask you a question. Are you in the Big Brother house? Because you've predicted a lot of things that have already happened. You've said a lot of things, and then the next episode it happens. And here's another thing that just happened. In Alyssa's goodbye video, she goes, "You thought you had me wrapped around your finger, but you were clearly wrapped around mine." And you say that every single episode. So, Joshua, you want something you want to tell me? Are you in this Big Brother house and just knowing what's going on?
No, but I do love the show, and I do like to observe things, and this is why I want to be on the Big Brother show, because I feel like if I was in there, like I would be able to have a good read on people and kind of know who's who, just because I watched it for so many years. That's why I'm so passionate about it. So thank you for that. But yes, I do observe things. I wish I was in the house, but I mean, it was true though. You knew, like, you can just see, like, Brent thought certain things, and
But it's
Alyssa's
just,
just controlling
it's,
it.
yeah, but it's mind blowing that you use the exact same phrase that she used. Like when I saw that on the show, I'm like, Joshua either has like his own mic in this house, or he knows somebody that, because he's knowing the right terminology that they're going to use. But I mean, you might say something now and it happens on Sunday. Who knows? Who knows? You're 3 for 3 right now.
This is why we're doing YouTube videos, so that way I can post it on there and it'll be on record. I can be like, see, this is why I should be in the house, because I have a good read on the people, and this is my resume builder.
Right. Like, I mean, if I don't ever plan to apply for the show, so if I'm helping you get onto the show, make sure you give me like a little shout out every
I
eviction.
will
Be like, hey, Dren, like, how you doing?
keep the show going.
All right. So as we know, Christian is HOH, but it's technically Christian and Alyssa. I
Right.
guess we can move on to a little bit of predictions. I can
Mm-hmm.
start with mine. My
Yep.
predictions is what was talked about in the episode. I do predict Whitney and Hannah to be on the block.
Yep. Same. I think this time around, Brittany is getting a lifeline in a sense, just because she's just
I'm
there.
so glad. I'm so glad, and not because I don't want to see her on the block, because I'm tired of her crying.
Right. And it really comes down to whoever's HOH. This season's good. I like this season because everybody that's like, whoever becomes HOH is really going to be crucial to who goes home, because I feel like everybody has their own little target. You know what I mean? Like Xavier, thankfully for Xavier, he had people that were backing him up with Brent, but I know that Xavier also found that he felt that he had to get rid of Brent. Thailand also wanted to get rid of Frenchie, and he had a lot of people that wanted to get rid of Frenchie. So like those two were kind of like a unison kind of thing, but then there were also like their own little targets. And I feel like with Alyssa and with Christian, they have their own targets, but I feel like in a sense, I don't know. Honestly, like again, I don't want to analyze it too much. I don't think Whitney's gonna go.
I
I
don't
know that
really think
Alyssa.
Whitney's going to go, but I think she's going to be on the block.
Yes, I think so. Just to be safe. I don't know. Honestly, I think Whitney has it. Like she's like, I'm telling you, like this is like the season of the praying mantises. Like like Whitney's just kind of like just lurking. I don't think she's in a bad position with Christian. I think she's maybe in a bad
But
position with Alyssa, and I
but
think that,
exactly,
but maybe Christian's gonna
they're
be like, you
they're
know what?
like this. He's not going to piss off Alyssa. He's not going to do that.
But I feel like Christian might be able to flip it a little bit, a
I
little
don't think
bit.
that at all. No, because Alyssa's already talked about it. She's going to try to get people to be on board, and she's going to make Christian. She's going to convince him that it's the right thing to do. I do see Whitney on the block. Do I see her leaving? I don't know, but I do see her on the block.
Okay. I'm gonna make a prediction, and it's gonna be a little bit different than yours. But I'm gonna predict that it's gonna be, oof. I don't know how this is gonna go. It's a kind of a bold one. But I'm gonna predict Derek F and Hannah. I don't know why. Something tells me that Derek F is gonna be up there. I don't know. I think he's gonna be put as a pawn. and Hannah being the possible target, and then
You really think Hannah is a target? No.
who do you think is the
No.
target? You think Whitney's the target?
Whitney is the target.
Then how can we say that she's not going to go home though?
Because I think that within the week something's going to happen. Vito still has to be played, but right now where we stand, Whitney is a target.
As much as I
This
love
is great. We
Alyssa,
both have different thoughts on our predictions, and for the
mm-hmm,
first time I think in a while, our
mm-hmm,
predictions aren't going to match. So I'm very excited to see how the predictions go. But
yeah.
you
I just
thinking Hannah is going to be a target is mind blowing. Like you left me speechless when you just said that. Like I was just like, what is he saying right now?
well, because it all comes down to who has the most like okay, like like I feel like this is kind of like me thinking like circle wise, the show, and me just thinking like who has the most influence in this game right now? Like who's running the game? There's a few people that are running the game. There's like
Mhm.
Kyland in his own way is running the game. Sarah Beth is running the game. Tiffany
You
is
think
running the
Kylan?
game.
Let me stop you right there. You think Kylan has a run on this game?
I think he does
I
in
don't.
a different way. He plays it off a little different. I feel like him and Sarah Beth play it a little different. I will say that Sarah Beth has a stronger run in the game than Kylan does for sure, but he still does a little bit because no one thinks of him as like Kylan doesn't want Whitney gone. I think Kylan would rather want Hannah gone. I could be wrong, but I'm just thinking
I don't.
okay,
He. This
let
is
me just
great.
run
This
through
is
the
great
names.
right now. But
Let me just run through the
what?
names of the people that I think. Let me just run through the names of the people that I think are running the game, which is Kylan, Sarah Beth, Tiffany, and Derek X. I think. I want to say Whitney, but Whitney's not running the game, unfortunately. But I think those four people, they have the best read on the house, and I think that they have a way of manipulating decisions without really coming on too obvious. I think Xavier is a puppet. I think Xavier thinks that he has the run in the game, but he does not. He wants to keep Hannah, but everybody else does not want to keep Hannah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't see it. Like I don't see
No.
Christian going for
So
Whitney. Am I
let
delusional?
me. Yes. Your list of people who is running the house is 2 out of 4. I don't think Kylan is running the game. I don't think he's a target though. I don't think Sarah Beth is running the game, but she's not a target. I think Tiffany is running kind of the game because she's manipulated, but she's not a target. And then Derek F is Derek X is running the game because he's winning comps and he knows what he's doing. So 2 out of 4.
But
I'm gonna give you 2 out of 4. Sarah
mm,
Beth and Kylan, they're in a big alliance, so they're good, but I don't think they're running the game. I think right now they feel good. They're just chilling back. I don't think they're running the game. I think let me
okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
let me just say I think you want Kylan to be running the house because he's your favorite. Just like I kind of want to hope that Sarah Beth is running the game because she's my favorite. But in reality, let's put it out there and let's look at this game without any favorites. They're not.
I think they are. I just have to put it out there, like especially because Sarah Beth's little segment where she throws Hannah's name out there. Sarah Beth has way more influence like Xavier does. So whatever Sarah says, it's probably going to ring true to some people. They're going to be like, you know what, she's right, she's right, she's right. The thing with Kylan and Sarah is that they're not very aggressive with the things that they do, but they know how to talk to people. They are immaculate
They
with
have a
talking
good
to people.
social game.
They know how to communicate with people and they know how to influence decisions by not being obvious about it. As opposed to Tiffany, who Tiffany comes off as a more obvious person who is running the game because she's very aggressive with it. She knows she targets someone and then they're like, okay, cool. But Sarah Beth and Kylan, they're more subtle with it. They're just kind of like, okay, let me lay back, let me just give my opinion on why this should happen and let it sit on their mind. And then once they have made the correct decisions, and that's what's gonna happen. That's why I think they're both doing so well, especially right now, Sarah Beth. Especially in this week, I feel like when she mentioned Hannah's name, it just kind of like like a light bulb on people, and they're like, you know what, Sarah Beth is right. Sarah Beth is right. Like she's right, and that's why she's like it's just simmering right now. I could be wrong. Maybe I'll go watch the live feeds later, but it's simmering in their minds, especially in Christians. And Alyssa, unfortunately, as much as I love her, she's not running the game.
She's not.
She has, like I said, she does have, she did have the guys wrapped around her finger, but she's not running the game. She can sit back and say, I want Whitney out, and I want Whitney out. Like, I think she's the next target. Okay, maybe she might be eventually, but I don't think she was the immediate target right now. I think Whitney, if anything, she kind of went along with y'all, and she made sure that she was kind of like making sure that Brent didn't know. Like, Whitney could have easily exposed all of that, and she didn't. So what did Hannah do? Hannah didn't do shit. Hannah was just kind of sitting by. It's like, if anything, like if it was me, I would observe and I'd be like, you know what? Whitney is a little bit more trustworthy than Hannah, because Hannah's in her own little world. I have no idea what she's about. Whitney, she's more readable. She's easier to read. Why would you want to get rid of her? It just doesn't make sense. I don't know if Alyssa just feels threatened by her. I don't know what the logic is behind that. I just don't see it.
We'll probably see it on Sunday, because literally, I'm telling you, it's going to be Alyssa and Whitney on the block, and we're going to be able to see it in the edits come Sunday. Just watch. Just wait.
You mean Whitney and Hannah, right?
Yes, I don't know what I just said, but
you said
too
Alyssa,
many names. No, Alyssa's going to be fine. But we'll see it on Sunday. I like that there's not an agreement here, because it gives us something to look forward to. Our viewers are probably going to be like, oh my God, who's right in this situation? So I'm looking forward to it. Let's get into this little ranking list that we have, because mine changed, and I'm going to go from the bottom up, because most of my changes happened at the top. So
interesting. Okay.
As we know, Brittany doesn't rub me the wrong way. I find her annoying. She's always crying. Brittany's my last place. Stay the same. Right above Brittany is her protector, her big mom, Azza, or Azza. I believe we've been pronouncing it wrong. It's Azza. She's on top. She was going to be my favorite. She dropped. At this point, I'm not vibing with Azza. Like, no. Right above that, Eric, Derek, F. They are a little trio that I'm just like over, not really thinking. Then slowly getting to me is Whitney, still at the bottom, moving up slowly. Hannah, Alyssa, and Claire are in the middle of my list. I still haven't seen much. Alyssa's at the top. It's Hannah, Claire, Alyssa. Alyssa's at the top of the because she has targets at least. Right above that is Christian, Xavier. Fourth place, Derek X. That's where he's been at. This is where it changes. My top three. My number one has changed, and it's now Tiffany. Because Tiffany is smart. She knows what she's doing. Like, I'm here for it. Like, anytime Tiffany is on my screen while I'm watching this episode, I'm interested. Like, I'm invested. What are you doing now? Who is your target? How are you making this happen? What are you influencing? Who are you talking to? Love it. Love all of it. Tiffany, number one. Number two, Sarah Beth, because she's been my favorite. Number three, Thailand. I moved him down. But.
Okay. Hey, I mean, I can't blame you for putting Tiffany on top, because she's playing a really good game. She's like, at this point, she's up to jury unless something crazy happens, and she's
definitely
way above jury. Like, I feel like she's definitely going to be top 5, top 4, top 3, top 2. Who the hell?
She's going to be there for double eviction. Like, let me just tell you that.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just run through mine, because I feel like mine didn't change too much, really. But the one at the bottom, I put Hannah, just because I honestly want Hannah out now. I just don't have anything.
I think this is why you're fighting so much, because she's at the bottom of your list and you want to see her out, that you're like making yourself believe Hannah's going to be the target. But let me get into your head a little bit. I think that ponytail in your hair is pulling your hair too straight. You're not thinking too well. Hannah's not going to be the target.
I think it should be. I think it will be. I don't know. I'm just putting it out to the universe that it's going to be Hannah. That's just what I think. I think so. Then so yeah. So whatever. I'm just not. I don't. I'm just not vibing with her. That's all. There's nothing I can say about her. She's just not playing the game that I thought she was gonna play. She's not doing anything. She's just kind of just coasting. She's coasting, and I'm not happy about it. Coasting. Next up, I have Brittany. She's a variable. Christian, also. Claire. Claire is like literally like a fly on the wall. Like she's nothing. Like I'm not saying she's nothing, but you know what I mean. Like she's just not doing anything in the game right now. And I'm just kind of like, all right, girl, anytime
That's why
now.
she's in the middle of my list. But yeah, I got you.
Forgettable. And then I have Azal. Azal is just like slowly still dwindling down. She's just kind of meeting up with Brittany at the bottom, and I'm just like, double eviction, Brittany, Azal. It's your time. Sorry, girl. It's time to go. And then I have Derek. Derek F. Like I feel like Derek F. since like day one, I've like struggled so much with because I have like a love-hate with him. He probably is the one that moves around the most for me, just because there's episodes I'm like, oh, he's doing this, and then other ones I'm just like, he's doing this. I'm like, oh, like just be consistent, please. But he's not, so I'm just like disappointed. And I think that's why he's one of the ones that would be up. But whatever, it's open for debate. I have Derek X move down a little bit just because of screen time. I feel like Derek X is kind of like just literally in the middle of the list right now, just because he's not doing too much, he's not doing too little, he's just in the middle. And then I have Xavier. This is kind of where it gets into the top list again. Xavier's at the bottom of the top list just because he's a puppet within that group of people that are kind of running the house. And then I have Whitney. Whitney moved down a little bit just because she's losing her influence potential. I think that she started off really strong, and I still love her, but I think that she's losing her finesse of being the influencer that she is, because I know that she has the potential to do it, and I know that she can do it again. It takes time, and sometimes she has off days, and she's been having off days. Tiffany's the next one. Tiffany has been moving up on my list just because she is doing an impressive game, but I just don't think it's as impressive as Sarah Beth, who's third. And then I have Alyssa second just because Alyssa is like biased for me. And then of course I have Kylan, who's also biased for me. But I just think that they're still doing a good game. I honestly think like it's kind of hard to rank these people because they're all doing their own thing. It really just depends on who you like the best. And to me, like I like Kylan and Alyssa a little bit better just because Alyssa's so pretty, and I feel like if I was a girl, I would probably play the same game that she's playing. And then Kylan is just Kylan, so I have to rank him first. You know what I mean? Like it
is hard. It is hard. And I think this is why I'm keeping Sarah Beth at the top, because I really do like her. She is ultimately the favorite of mine in the house. But at the same time, I have to rank her with Tiffany, who's doing so much that when I wrote this list, I put Sarah Beth on top, and then I was like, I can't do that. I need to put Tiffany on top. Like I just had to.
There's just a lot of variables. I always try to compare, like, okay, so there was like this person and this person, who would get my vote at the end, and that's kind of what I take into account. Like, for me, if it was between Tiffany and Sarah, I'd probably give the vote to Sarah. If it was between Sarah and Alyssa, I'd be like, maybe Sarah, maybe Alyssa. I don't know. It's still too early to tell. It's still too early. I cannot say.
Boy. Let's not even get into that. Let's not.
I cannot say.
All right. So as for now, those are our lists. We have a very interesting episode coming up because we don't agree on certain things. I'm excited for Sunday because we get to see the actual noms. Y'all get to see who was right. We're both wrong. Whatever. Right. Yep. But that's just gonna have to wait because the episode's not out yet.
Yep. So we'll have to tune in on Sunday, and then we'll see who has a better read in the house again.
I guess, but we'll see.
Alrighty then. So that's it for today, and we will chat till next time.
Till next time.